Any words of wisdom?
I'd rather not get killed, so I'm not going to say anything.
You know, I'm tempted to say something. I already know Cross is gonna
Tell Miss
retaliate.
Barnett she was right. My hubris has gotten me in some serious trouble.
Barnett.
You know, I wasn't gonna bring Barnett into this, but since you insisted.
Oh, she'll figure it out anyway.
Yeah, she will. That's a good point.
Yeah, she will, considering that one of the things you're probably gonna have to do is walk a patrol beat with her as her being your commanding
Oh, I'm
officer.
gonna have to watch
Oh
that.
god, does that mean I have to interact with the local populace?
What do you think we do?
You know, Dutch.
Oh,
For the
but they're
longest
mutated.
time, there's so much tension between them.
Oh
You
yeah,
can
I
do
know.
Actually learn to get a uniform dirty.
Sir,
I am.
I'm gonna enjoy watching this.
Just so you
So
know,
we're
Cross,
supposed to help
if you
populace.
were able to charm the wiles of Barnett, you are one step ahead of me, sir. I have been trying for years.
Have you now?
Have you not seen my piano solo dedicated specifically to her?
It is a good one, Dutch.
Dutch, I'm going to let you know this. I'm spending most of this training drunk. Incredibly drunk.
I would have it
Negative.
no other way. In fact, wait a minute. Grace, you have any
What?
of that?
What?
Now, this is off the record.
What?
You have any of that, that psycho?
No.
Wait,
Dutch,
you
I
need
know.
psycho?
so sad.
No.
What kind of psycho do you want?
Dutch,
Buff
you
or
are
cats
looking
or
at-
regular?
You're looking at a medical officer.
Arch, we're
Oh, I
so
know,
dead
I
after
know,
this.
Lieutenant Macklin. I'm
Whatever.
not gonna.
I'll
Yeah.
just enjoy the moment.
I'm not gonna taint your woman
Clark,
back there.
let's be honest. When's the next time
I
we're
know-
gonna see
I know
Cross
she's
like this
recovering.
ever?
Frankly, I
If
don't
you
like
need
that.
it, you know who to talk to.
Oh, look at you.
You look fantastic.
I want you
Yeah.
to know something, Stonehorn. You'd better get your laughs in while you can.
That's right.
Oh, I'm getting plenty.
That's right.
I don't
Get your
think that's
laughs
a
in.
part of the uniform.
Hey, Grace.
Cross.
So, Dutch, you asked for psycho. What kind? Yeah.
Also, let me go get the
What?
correct cap that goes with this.
Oh, I'm sorry. One second.
What'd you say?
Once Cross gets out of laughing range, he busts out laughing.
Not
What I'd
for
like,
you.
Fucking hell.
what I'd like you to give me is whatever you would like to see Cross on.
Wait, what?
Whatever you'd like to give me is whatever
Not
you would
for
like
me.
to see
What? What
Cross
are you
on.
talking
I plan to have this gent
think he got more
dancing
than
on
he
the
bargained
stage
for.
in Watoga Willie's. Wait till you see it.
Oh, I might have to get some too for that then.
We're gonna make him part
Oh.
of the.
What are you doing?
Oh no, I just
Can't
dropped.
officially give it to him.
Oh no, stuff fell out of my pockets. Whatever will I do?
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh, where? I
I've been
didn't
going to
see
the wrong
anything.
supplier.
I trust you.
I need
I'll move away so you
the
can get it.
corporal there. Whoops. 1 second. There we go. Oh, it's a touchy little bit of baggage you got there.
You gotta
That's-
look at the zipper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
I have a
what
couple giddy up buttercups I need to work on, Grace. Do you want all of them or?
1 second.
Hold on, let me pick
One
this
Just
the flower.
two.
Does that help?
Yeah,
Sure.
there we go. There we go.
Just,
I have like 5 of
spoiled.
them sitting around. I need to do something.
Yeah,
with.
drop the
Yeah,
spoiled
yes.
meat. You don't want that.
I
Alrighty.
eat that for lunch.
Thank you.
That's what gives me my cuts. Where'd he go?
He
I
went
don't
off to
think I'll
grab the
get the
crabs.
correct tab. Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
Should probably be making the eye patch too.
Cross.
You know
the-
what? You should. One of you should order him. You guys are ranking officers. One of you should order him to wear the correct eye patch.
I'd
Sure,
rather
why
not. I
not?
don't want to
Just
die once
Not-
this is
not
over.
you, the two of them. They're both ranking. They're ranking responding officers. They
He
can.
has until
They
Make
can
him
tomorrow.
run.
require it.
He's not
Make
an
him run
official
laps.
cadet today, is he?
Clark, Garrett, do me a
Well-
we do
favor.
have a ceremony coming up.
We do have a ceremony on
Oh
Tuesday.
fuck! You're right. Where is he? Cross.
What?
Where's Cross?
So
He's
could
at
we
the
say
tail
He's
that
at the
it
tailhook.
You
starts
tail
on
hook,
Tuesday?
Dutch. It's over
Or
here.
does it start
tail hook.
tomorrow?
Just make sure you run slabs.
Are you guys familiar with kings and queens and kingdoms? Right. You know, over there and across the pond we had kings, queens, and sometimes we would we would cross-marry, you know, we would marry into other families in order to unite kingdoms. I think in this case, having Cross become a responder is an act of good faith, and perhaps something along the lines of a marriage between the EAF and the responders. Now, of course, I would need to run this by Commander Johns and Field Commander Anders. No, fuck, Field Commander Anders. She won't have anything to do with this. She'll think it's my idea. No,
Blame it on me.
regardless. Cross, where are you?
I think he's back at the tailhook.
Go up north.
I
Up the
think
road.
it's a great idea. He's the one
He's
that's
on
doing
his
the most
way back.
resistance about this. Teaching him
So-
a thing or two.
we're going-
Definitely
So
we're going-
help.
I just need to know: is this officially starting tomorrow at sunup, or are we gonna give him a couple days to live out his EAF?
All I'm telling
fun
you
and
is
then
this.
start on Tuesday.
All I'm telling you
Good
is
question.
this, is that he is going to be in our Pip-Boy video on Tuesday for the cadet ceremony. Cross of the EAF.
Oh.
Oh,
Immortalized in our cadet video.
Okay, so what do you want? Do you want it to start tomorrow, or do you want it to start on Tuesday?
There he is.
Look at that.
Look at that.
You said get my laughs in, Cross.
It's like
So,
walking into a mirror of myself, just a little smaller.
Also a lot better looking.
Yeah, well.
And
that's,
not
you know,
balding.
Oh,
It's,
I forgot to change the eye
the
patch.
balding, that's just a low blow. You know, it's hypertestosterone that does that. I can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
It's from dancing.
Cross. I hate to do this to you, but you should see him dance. That's where all the testosterone goes.
Where's that guy? This guy here. I know. Yes, this guy right here.
Yes.
This man knows what he's talking about.
You know
But
what you should
anyway.
do, Cross? You should dance with us. It might help you lighten up.
Cross.
Stonehorn,
You know what Barnett
you're
likes.
pushing
Cross?
it.
You know what Barnett likes, Cross?
What does she like?
She likes dancing. She won't tell you that. Did you check her Pip-Boy like I told you?
I haven't gotten the opportunity yet.
Just check her Pip-Boy. There's secrets about Barnett you do not know. Now, I don't want to help you out because my boy Hawkins is suffering, you understand? You came along with your suave and deeds and all this slow talk and this banter and canter. You know, you're the shiny new toy, I get it. But, anyway, yeah. Don't take a picture.
I
You gotta
really
be-
don't think you quite understand the nature of the professional relationship between myself and Miss
Right.
Barnett.
I don't. You're right, I don't.
Cross. I know I'm digging my grave, but let's be honest. You know exactly what I hear when y'all two talk.
Oh god.
That's nasty.
I'm just gonna stand over here.
I am a little pissed.
Gentlemen,
that
could
Barnett
y'all
chose that
dig
fucker
me a
over
grave and be sure to give Molly all those pictures we took together in the crater if I do die? Please and thank you.
Oh, be happy. I don't have my plasma flame on me right now, Stonehorn.
You mean the one you got from me?
Seeing him outside of his normal
Kill me.
uniform, she might change her mind.
He'll kill me with the gift I gave him. What a
Stonehorn,
friend.
you
Should
are
have
acting
been the
This-
responder eye patch.
This has got to be... Is there any way to get this thing clean?
Yeah, unfortunately for
It's
some
called your
river.
own two hands. You can't
That's
be
right.
using any of that laundromat stuff in the white spring. If you want a clean uniform, you take
Wait
it
a
down
minute.
to the water, you wash it with the rocks.
Wait, what? The irradiated water?
Corporal.
With,
Well, no,
you
you
know,
take
or
the,
you
you take the
radiation.
water, running water. You take some water,
So it's
you
good to
get
see
it
him
in
like
a bucket,
this, isn't it?
put
I mean,
down to
honestly,
the rocks,
if you're being
you
honest
beat
with
it,
yourself.
put a little bit of lye on the uniform.
It is quite amusing.
You just
You
rinse
can
it.
find
Ladies
some
and
of
gentlemen,
Braxo.
I had
ladies
no
and
idea he would
gentlemen,
actually do
please,
this.
please,
This
you
was-
know what would make the emancipation of Mr. Cross even more entertaining is a few pints of beer. Perhaps we could take this to a civilian location.
Actually, General, we have a question for you.
Yes, Miss Grace.
Yes, we do.
We have a cadet ceremony on Tuesday. Would you like this to commence the week starting with the Tuesday, or does he start officially tomorrow morning?
Oh
Out of character? Out of character, if you want to do a lot with him, I suggest tomorrow morning, just because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I won't be playing. So
Okay.
What is this?
Well, then I guess I would answer that.
What is this out of
Then
character?
tomorrow morning, Miss Grace. I believe
And
we
we
can
would
free up his
expect to
schedule.
see him at the cadet ceremony. He's gonna take the walk.
What walk?
We're gonna
Totally gonna be
walk you
watching
down
this.
through the gates of Morgantown, and our
As every
most
responder
honored,
does.
and honestly, General, as I was speaking earlier, I think you may have been out of range, but you're familiar with over the pond marriages, kings and queens and such, where we marry unto families. You're familiar with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My ancestry comes from there, Dutch.
Oh, excellent. Well, you can tell from my accent I'm a little confused. Some people call me Brit-Australian. We're still trying to figure it out. But regardless, we thought this was actually an incredible gesture on your part. This is almost like a marriage between the EAF and the responders. Perhaps, maybe, in an act of good faith, one of ours could come to you.
Well, we would enjoy that privilege, although they would have to be somebody with a rather steely nature, because I did mention the culture difference.
Of course. Now.
Oh,
But, and I would like to
I
take
have-
credit. Unfortunately, Mr. Cross here, he volunteered himself, just not directly.
Oh, wow! I did not realize now. That's a
His
little odd.
attitude volunteered for him. Isn't that right, Grace?
Oh yeah,
Grace can be pretty convincing, I suppose, right? Isn't that right, Macklin? She's pretty convincing.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, might be something to
But-
consider.
Well, if this in fact has been approved as a legitimate action, then we would love to take somebody on, and we are starting some enclave engagements next week, as a matter of fact. Perhaps they could come with some of us and take turns following the troops around.
well,
Go ahead.
since we are being diplomatic about this, I think it only fair that someone of my equivalent rank and standing within the new responders be sent to the Enclave to serve as a cadet as well.
Well, let's be
I
clear
mean-
that this isn't exactly a quid pro quo here. You actually are redeeming yourself for what we consider a pretty heinous act, aren't you? I mean, I don't know that you should be able to dictate the terms if this is a form of your punishment.
I am still a diplomat, good sir, and I...
How did you get taller than me?
He's
the
standing
road.
on a hill.
I think I was
It's the
born
hat.
that way.
Go
standing on a
ahead.
hill.
Apologies. Go ahead. What do you
Anyhow,
think,
I'm
gentlemen?
I'm merely making a suggestion out of logical sense. See, if you want to effect change within the Enclave and you want true understanding
Oh,
to
that's where you're
occur,
wrong.
I mean, of course...
I'm not looking for effective change. I'm just looking for a good time, sir. I mean,
Do you have somebody in
you're the
mind,
one
Mr.
that you're the
Zofus?
one that selected this form of punishment. I'm just suggesting that maybe, in an act of good faith, we'll send somebody. I personally, I don't have the rank to justify that, so I can of course speak with Commander Johns. I have his ear, as you might know, and of course, I will be honest that Field Commander Anders, she's really the one. She's got her hand around the yanker of that motherfucker. Like, oh, excuse me. So, my point being is that. My point being is,
Lieutenant Dutch, we have a saying in the Enclave. It's not rude if it's true.
well, perhaps that's true. Anyway, I'm not trying to beat up on you, Cross. I just. It's a culture difference, I suppose. I can't place your accent. Where are you from? South? Down south of the American South, correct?
I'm from Louisiana.
Okay, yeah, a little Cajun. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Lieutenant Macklin? You're the next ranking officer here. I mean, you think Johns would go for it?
I don't know, Dutch. It'd be a hard decision because it's, he is taking a form of punishment, but
See, I agree with you.
He
I
might-
agree with you. This is punishment. Go ahead, Macklin.
say he might see it as an opportunity, as you just said, the marriage between two families, but
Right.
I'd say it'd be a slim chance of that happening.
Yeah, he is a pretty cantankerous wanker. You didn't hear me say that.
And
You didn't hear
I
me
don't
say
know
that.
what you're saying, Dutch.
Grace, as a woman,
What?
I mean, you're a woman, right?
What the fuck, Dutch?
I'm just saying. I don't want to. I don't want to presume. I don't want to presume. Do you think Field Commander Anders would go for something like this? Be honest. Would she be okay with us giving an equal rank member of the 5-0 over to the EF for a week?
Nah, probably not, because it's a punishment. She would be like, that's not, it's a punishment. But she would probably, if I had to think about it and I kind of really focus, and then if the sound...
Oh my god, I can't. Alright, thank you. Thank you for your time. Alright.
I think that she would say, based off of what I could see, is that it would... The concept is fine, but try to find an equal rank, because its punishment isn't the same.
Alright.
Because...
Anybody got a blue crayon? Perhaps if we get the crayon out, we could understand a little bit quicker what's going on here.
She's basically saying the same thing I am, Dutch.
Right. Thank you, Macklin.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care who you send, but they had better have testicular fortitude, or the equivalent.
Why's it
for a
gotta be
woman.
testicular fortitude?
Oh
or the
god.
equivalent for a woman, Grace.
General.
You can't even say it, can you? Because
You
apparently
know-
estrogen can't be fortitude?
Miss Grace, your
Ovarian
ovaries of
fortitude
iron
would
are
be
not in
the,
question.
Equivalent.
Alright.
My ovaries
All
are
right.
just
Enough. He did. You gotta remember, Grace. These guys, they've been like, preserved for 30 years or whatever. I don't know.
Anyway, that's why there's no women in the Enclave.
Okay, that's fine. I agree.
Correction, there are.
There are women in the Enclave.
All two of them, I know.
Okay. Regardless. I like this, General. I apologize for all this rancorous discussion. I think I will take this back to Commander Johns. I think it is a good way to build some trust between the two. Now, I will say this is, again, a form of discipline to you, though, Cross. Not from me. This is your choice. So just so you understand that everything that would happen to Cadet with the 5-0 is going to happen to you. Is that acceptable? General, I should ask you, because you're really the one in charge here. No offense, Cross, but the General here is the one we need permission from.
Get on the
No,
get on
no,
the-
I, good sir, am a man of my word, and
Get on the Pip-Boy.
I promised Miss Grace over there that Agent Cross would receive remedial action. And he has volunteered for this. Consider it granted. Do as you wish.
Tell Damien to bring the Mr. Fuzzy costume.
I fucking like this guy. I can see why there's a little allure to them.
Mr. Fuzzy costume and the
Black and white, I
the-
like that.
the new
Decision
design
is made.
and the,
Alright. Cross, welcome to the 5-0 new responders. There's a rich tradition that you will be learning about, and we will have you walk across that bridge with the greatest honor, and it will be across every Pip-Boy in Appalachia.
Oh goody.
Wonderful.
You hear that, gentlemen? Tune in.
General, thank you, sir, and I will speak with Commander Johns, and
Don't
we
worry
will
about it.
we'll look to send I think an equal rank will be what I'll shoot for, but I don't know. He really is. You know what I'll do? I'll take him this bottle of triple distilled whiskey. I'll lube him up a little bit, and we'll make it happen.
Sheepy's awake.
If you
Hello,
have
I
a
heard a
second
flush.
bottle, perhaps we'll pop that tonight.
Oh,
Mmm.
a man of the whiskey. I like that. Again, these
Whiskey
guys.
and
There's something about
scotch
these
every
guys. I
once
know
in a
you
while.
guys. This
I
one in
don't discriminate
particular.
alcohol.
This one in
Wait,
particular.
what's his equivalent rank, Doofus? Asshat?
He's an A.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm
Rem-
not talking to you.
Remember,
Yeah.
gentlemen,
Just
we're on
calling
time
the
off.
ranks.
You can act like yourself right now.
Well,
Let's see.
that's the problem, General. I am, and Cross is gonna make me pay for it
Cross,
later.
you're welcome to change back into your outfit. You're not
No,
official.
he won't.
You're not official until the morning.
Oh, thank goodness. Get my
Grace, it's a
outfit.
lieutenant, by the way.
I'm a man of.
Okay.
It's a lieutenant. An agent
Not
is equivalent to a lieutenant.
Torment.
Hey, you
All right,
come
yeah,
back here
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
I agree. Do not talk about
That's-
Tormund that way. He is lying in a bed in coma.
Take that back, or I swear to God, that this whole week that you're with us, you are gonna regret every hour down to every second for a week.
Cross.
Oh,
We're
I
trying to be
think you
civil.
might be regretting it, Mr.
And
Rice.
that he put his Enclave uniform back up.
He
He's probably going to
is
volunteer me.
probably gonna die, and you just sat there and said, "Not Tormund." That's speaking ill of somebody who can't even defend themselves.
All right.
Check your fucking pride.
I agree, Grace. Calm down. I understand. Calm down.
Well,
Please, Lieutenant
I am
Macklin,
sorry
keep-
for
Better.
Mr. Tormund's
Come here.
condition. I wasn't made aware yet. I do apologize for my statements. That was wrong of me. I didn't know what was going on with Mr. Tormund.
This will be first part of training. Sensitivity.
No worries. You're
Quick
good.
question. What's he suffering from? Concussions, lacerations, hemorrhaging, compound fractures?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
all of the
Macklin has
above.
the details.
Brain swelling. He is.
Femoral bleed.
He's on a tube. He is in a medical-induced coma.
General.
Neurosurgery was employed by Dr.
Yeah.
Anders to reduce the swelling on the brain. So he's got that traumatic brain injury, the
Yeah.
TBI stuff going on.
Yep.
Barely managed to save him from the femoral bleed, from what I understand. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little touchy. If
All
you
right.
give me his name.
Grace. back
No,
off.
I understand. General, Foundation's been
Yes.
supplying me with generous medical supplies with, keeping them safe, stuff they've been helping me farm from hospitals scavenging around the wastelands.
Yes, I believe you also got some of that from our other friend. Was
Indeed.
it Private Devil Dog?
Mm-hmm.
Any
What
medical
else?
supplies that you can supply would be directed toward me or Dr. Anders or
You
Do
know,
you need
medical
Keith,
officer
do you need medical
Kiyoshiana.
supplies?
For a torment,
I'm
maybe.
always in need.
Tell you what,
Then- Provide it to him, Mr. Stonehammer. Born.
Yeah,
it's
you
alright, I got it.
can understand that wandering the wasteland, we give out supplies like
Mole
candy.
rats.
Mole rats.
Food.
Who is this? Who is
Here's
this
here's a surplus of stim packs. If you need antiseptic, we can go inside the tail horn. I can pull them out.
I would be more after
tail.
antibiotics.
Oh, storage
Also.
box. Sorry.
Hello, Monty. How are you today?
Yeah. If
Do you need anything else? Antiseptics.
if,
Right away.
if one thing, I would be after antibiotics and disease cure.
Got you covered.
You see, the thing is in the Enclave we produce this stuff.
Right.
If it really comes down to it, in case of an emergency, you can
Here.
ask us for requisition.
Here, take this.
Something to be said for a little hard work and elbow grease.
Yeah, that
Makes you appreciate it.
It'll get used.
that'd be great, General. but
I don't think the dead worry about who made it, Grace.
Question. Will
listen,
that
listen,
help
though.
torment?
you teach a man to fish, and
Here,
he'll
let's
be
step
able
over
to.
here.
What is that? What is that quote? You teach a man to fish, and he'll be able to feed himself, right?
Wait,
For a
wait, be
lifetime.
quiet, be quiet.
That's right.
If you need
Shut
anything
up,
else,
all of
like
you.
antiseptic, I could arrange
Shush.
that too.
That's not.
Shush.
Yeah. The
I hear something.
Grace,
No,
get on your meds.
He's
I
on a treatment of
Wait.
hear
medics and
Grace, is this one of those episodes you've been having?
a partial dosage of XL. He is taking antibiotics, a
something.
Lieutenant
40
Dutch,
dose of impact.
she may or may not be having an
And
episode.
Charlotte is taking.
Yeah, we've
herself for
seen
her
reports
face
on
and
this.
burns.
You have your body armor?
Healing salve.
Yes.
Sergeant O'Malley,
I keep that
There.
on standby.
I've got some healing salve on me right now.
what's the problem?
I can
Don't
divert
do this
more
now in front of
from
these
my
people.
personal stash. This ought to help.
Party and I didn't have an invite.
No, there's
Thank you.
somebody.
Drawing too much
Um,
attention. Keep
What
that
the hell?
You
ready.
can find any
I
IV bags,
Here.
blood.
Lieutenant
Blood
Macklin,
bags.
what's wrong with this woman?
Blood bags. Here, I got 3 of me right now.
Grace, what are you hearing?
Blood is always good.
Not a
Thank you
heartbeat,
so much.
but a rustle.
No worries.
But I'll
Ask
keep
the
you
general if
informed.
anything else, and I'll make myself a delivery boy.
Oh, great.
Don't worry about it.
The hair raising on
Name
my
and
neck
rank again?
wasn't
I'm sorry.
wrong. I knew I heard
Hmm?
something.
Your name and rank, so I know how to
No heartbeat.
properly.
Grass is
Stonehorn,
wrestling.
Corporal.
The dead on the
Thank you,
wind.
Corporal.
No worries.
What the
No,
hell?
I don't want to miss my friend getting drunk and potentially dancing.
Do you...
Let's go. Dutch, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Lieutenant Dutch. Lieutenant, right?
That's correct, sir.
Are you familiar with the House of Requiem and the fugitive Vincent?
I am, but you know what? Who's got time for that?
Well, I believe that might be what Miss Grace is referring to. He's close. I can feel it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
very close.
Hey, General, I'm up for a
Alright.
good hunt.
You know what? I don't know the protocol or what our rules of engagement are for that type of individual, but I do know one thing, that part of my investigation into the FOB dealing with this Sergeant O'Malley has been issues with
See what
mental
I see,
illness. Mental illness.
Yes, I
So
Grace, he's the opposite way.
Well,
Kill
we
Hope.
have unique systems built into some of our armor. For an example, my mask.
Away.
There are certain aspects about the vampire mutation that we can pick up. I'm
vampires.
telling you, he is around.
Wonderful. I just happen to have a cartridge of wooden stakes.
Ah,
And the procedure, by
General.
the way, is to kill the
Watch
fucker
over
on
him.
sight.
I will. So,
Well, you know what? What you
I
do
won't
is
be
what
far.
you do. I mean, if that's your rules of engagement, I haven't been told anything by John's what our
Guys?
rules of engagement.
Come here.
well, hello. What the
What were you
fuck,
asking
General?
earlier, Dutch? I'm sorry.
General?
Just, Grace.
Yes?
She's going off on one of her little
General?
tirades. I don't know.
You
The
gonna speak,
reports
or
I've
just keep
seen.
calling
I
my
want to get
name?
involved. I was just
I'll
like,
take care of her.
maybe.
Are you mentally ill?
You're standing right here in the
Grace?
fucking open.
The hell?
She stepped inside her head, sir.
I
Oh,
was just
shit.
nearby, whatever. I actually thought I was muted for that, so.
Never mind.
Moo.
Now everyone knows you're here.
Let's eat this. Who's got the giant grill?
I got the Brahmin grill.
We're about to have some of Dutch's famous barbecue right now.
Someone
Dutch, I
say
want your
meat.
meat in my mouth. Come here.
Hey, Mask, if you're not
knows how
actually
to
here, we
My
can continue on. It's okay.
Succulent meat.
Sorry.
Who said that?
Leave the
Otherwise, if
civilian
you're lurking,
alone.
Mask, if you're lurking, Grace is gonna know you're here. That's kind of what she's gonna. That's her thing.
Oh, Steph is here. Quick little dip
Damn.
didn't get to
Because-
last time.
Where's the Barbie?
Because of what she is, she's
Oh,
going to
I've
know
got
that
it
you are
already.
here.
Oh, you
So
are?
if you want her to know, if you want to play with you nearby spying,
Sorry, General.
Let me know.
Me
If
and
not,
Mask
I'm gonna
or
continue.
Shadow saw him, and then we thought it was on. I apologize.
No. Unless he tells otherwise, it is on, right? So.
Sorry, Shadow. We got excited for nothing.
I want to meet this
Yeah.
vampire.
hey, do you want to know
Oh.
that circling?
I'll be right
Well,
back.
sorry to say, Mr.
No, not
Mr.
yet. I
Walker,
was just
that you may be meeting
listening and
a
enjoying
pile of green
while I
goo.
was writing, so.
That sounds like it's an acceptable end.
Aware, 'cause Grace-
General,
I think so.
I had a
Yes.
request because I do deserve disciplinary action for what I did. So, I didn't take a life. I didn't injure somebody, but I would like to help save the lives of those who are injured right now, like Torment. If they need any more medical supplies, I can supply them.
Well, fine then. How about a suitable amount? No automated production facility will be allowed. You must do it with your own technical expertise, you understand?
I've been farming the hospitals, and I've been making the meds with Foundation, so that should not
Of
be
the
a problem.
highest caliber, mister.
Of course, sir. Only what we would use, of course.
Then let's say... What's a good amount of work for you?
Well, we
How
are
about
in
400
desperate need.
antibiotics?
That's gonna be a little effort, but I'll try.
You asked for it. So perhaps you should watch your trigger discipline next time.
And not be a big old fucking jerk about things, eh? How about that? Like you don't shoot people in the foot
Yeah.
and then the knee, or the knee.
I
and then
just
the
said
foot.
I'm gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
I already
Just
acknowledged
remember,
that.
gentlemen, the Enclave represent the top 1% of society. Now, don't we look stupid if you do not act as such?
Now you just sound pretentious, General.
General
Well-
will need IV and blood bags too, if you can supply 'em.
Oh, IV
We
and
have-
blood bags.
All right,
Well,
let's General, no offense, but all this giving is never for free, is it? I mean, you're just doing this out of the kindness of your heart.
No, I'm not.
Right,
The
so...
thing is that Mr. Well, the good corporal over here, he's asking to receive remedial discipline.
Well, isn't that out of the ordinary, Corporal? I mean, why would you seek to discipline yourself in such a disciplined organization?
Cross.
Did you do
Here's
something
the
wrong?
thing. As Grace said, I did shoot that man in the foot and the knee. That was excessive. And the General's right. We do need to reform ourselves. You've got people injured, so any help would benefit those who are injured. That's why.
You gotta understand, I'm a little suspect though,
much is
because
it?
nothing is ever for free.
8 each.
I get redemption
Thanks, by the way.
for my actions. That's what I'm seeking.
Right. Well,
It isn't for free. He's trying to... How should we put? He's paying a debt now for his uncalled
see.
for actions.
See, my intel on, no offense, but we are obviously I'm transparent here. You'll learn very quickly that with the right stems, I spill my guts if we're being honest. But my intel on the EAF, and perhaps you just fill me in, General. But do you see right and wrong? I mean, do you see the difference between right and wrong?
I'm gonna need
Just the way that
We see the
Unfortunately-
difference between effective and practical and a waste of resources.
Right. So shooting that that poor civilian was more a waste of bullets than anything, correct?
That is correct.
Interesting. Okay. I understand. I can understand that.
played itself out.
All right.
Now,
So
the debt that needs to be
Step this
paid
way.
is not
Step back this way,
necessarily to the man, because we've already
Thank you,
corrected
though.
his issues. He'll be
Seriously.
back on his feet in a week.
Clark, hang on one second.
Now,
Grace has to
the
go
debt that he
take
needs
care
to
of some
pay
things over there.
is he has
so
damaged
the,
our diplomatic relation with his uncalled for lack of trigger
How are
discipline
you, Clark?
and handling of the civilians. How are we
Good.
supposed to build a relationship with our own people
How are you?
if we can't reconnect with them? That
Good.
is the inefficient behavior that he is repaying.
totally agree. Totally agree. All right. Well, as long as it's understood that this comes with no cost attached to it, no favors to be
Monte.
delivered. I don't want to see on our Pip Boys some kind of issue with us not doing our parts. We're fully capable of supplying our medical supplies, as you would understand. That's what we've been doing for 2 years.
What did you do?
We accept it.
There's no that. There's no attachments to it. Like I said,
Nice.
I've got a debt to pay. I got to redeem myself. And as the General says, I did tarnish our diplomatic between us. I need to fix that.
Here.
And then by all means, we appreciate any
I only have
assistance.
2
Thank you for clarifying.
Now,
Probably
let's
don't do
change
this
the
one.
order there.
You don't have any more of
Since
that inert
Keith
flux,
had
do
mentioned
you?
he needs more blood packs. Instead of antibiotics, let's put it as 200
No worries.
antibiotics and 200 blood packs.
I can farm the wastelands. I can farm hospitals. Ticks always have a surplus of blood. With antiseptic,
No
I
need
can.
for an explanation there, Corporal. You asked for it, you got it.
That seems of sepsis. All right, I'll leave
I
you
did
guys.
just hand him 150 stim packs. That's a good start too, right?
Oh, you better not be complaining about something you just asked me for.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that's at least a good start too to help with those who are wounded.
Nah, I
Then
just
we will
picked up
call
another
them square
150 from
when you deliver that
Stone
order.
over there.
I'll give it a shot.
It's your choice. You volunteered.
No, you're right. I might have to stop hunting for a while to do antiseptic.
I'm up to 375.
Well, this is your choice, Corporal. You want to
You're
help
right.
repair your relations? You asked for it.
Fair enough.
Remember that next time you shoot somebody. They need repairs.
General, are you available? I just got a word from Commander Johns. He is on board for the swapping of individuals for you to take EAF. Do you have anyone in particular you have in mind that you would like to see come over?
Ah,
Still wearing the helmet.
you know what? I'm often in the
I need to
control
work on that
center.
form a little bit more.
Maybe I should ask this of Mr. Clark and Mr. Garrett. Are they here? Present yourselves.
Yes,
Sir?
I'm right here.
Now, who do you work with most that you get along with?
As of 5-0, or
Yes.
Who would you like to see come over to the EAF?
I don't know, to be honest.
Well, we could always narrow it down.
You don't have to decide
My first
now.
instinct is Miss Rose Barnett, but unfortunately, I'm not sure that she would take to our level of cultural differences.
Yeah, well,
Perhaps, how would... And you yourself, sir, I don't see you out very much. You're often doing your own investigations, is that not correct?
well, if we're being honest, I have a couple issues that I take care of. But you know what? I mean, I am open to whatever you see. I just I'm not sure that there's enough testicular fortitude on your end to handle my attitude. I'm sorry, but feel free to try me out.
Well, you know, we could always load you into a vertibird and see what kind of
Oh
girth
fuck no!
the
I don't
cargo
fly on
hold
those
can
things.
have.
No! I don't fly. I don't fly invertebrates. I take
No,
trains.
Where
I
was
run.
that fortitude you said? Surely you have the fortitude to jump on a contraption like a vertibird.
Fuck.
Oh, maybe you can even take the flight controls for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I heard even Grace can fly one.
Yeah,
When
I
she
know my
states it, of
limitations.
course.
Then
All
again,
right.
if not,
Okay,
if not,
here's the
Mr.
deal.
Walker-
Here's the deal. Here's the
Double
deal
barrel
then.
roll.
One of you comes dances at Watoga Willie's, and I'll go fly a vertibird. In fact,
wait a
General,
That's a good deal.
General, why don't you come and dance Watoga Willie's, and I'll go fly a vertibird.
I gotta watch.
You'll fly our vertibirds for a little while.
I'll fly a vertibird if you'll dance over at Watoga Willie's.
Wait, there's so many things happening.
Wait a moment.
Get the camera.
So, here's my question. If Mr. Walker is going to be the person being swapped, then who will oversee my responder training?
Me.
No, you have a you
No.
have a point there. I want to see the good lieutenant here take care of you, Mr. Cross.
Me too.
I
Me
will
too.
dance at Watoga Willie's, provided that the good field commander Anders is in attendance.
Well, I mean, why not? I don't see why not.
Then I'll trust you to make the appropriate arrangements. Then, Dutch.
Name your song. Name your song, General.
Let me think about it. I'm out of
All right.
touch.
You put me on Pip-Boy, you understand? And we'll make it
I
happen.
understand. How about if we have who do we want, gentlemen? Who do we want to poach from the responders?
Grace!
Oh, I think I hear an echo in the wind. Perhaps lieutenant for lieutenant, as it were. Perhaps Grace should spend a week with us.
Grace is a sergeant.
Grace is a sergeant. Ha!
That's right.
Oh,
There's
well
only
then
two
that's even
lieutenants
more
here.
appropriate. She's a sergeant and she's a working class woman. Let's take her. That's who we request. We will take Grace.
All right, give me one moment to speak to Commander Johns.
We do not approve.
Negative.
Oh yeah, I have stock out if anyone needs to buy.
Now, troops, if you attend Watoga Willie's, make sure that you only catch my good side.
I'll get my camera.
What if I took your place, Stozy?
Alright, General, I just spoke to Commander.
No, you can't go.
He is okay with
Better.
Sergeant O'Malley coming over.
No.
And he would
Then
like to be
we
present.
have an accord, sir.
No, one more. He would like to be present also at Watoga Willie's, if that's acceptable to you.
Please. Of course it would be acceptable.
Excellent.
I've been looking to spend much more time with the good commander.
Wonderful. Then we have a deal.
We
You
have
give
a
it like
deal.
this, though, Grace. You won't be
Oh,
under the
I
command
do
of
hope
Cross,
you
because he'll
have.
currently be out, too.
I do hope you have fun, Miss Grace.
Now listen here. We will be tracking Sergeant O'Malley, and feel free to do the same with Agent Cross. Any harm comes to her, and our
I will tell you
relationship
this.
is severed. No, I will tell you
I will-
this. I will tell you this,
All
sir.
right.
No offense, sir. This is a very serious matter. Now, we all joking aside. Anything happens to Sergeant O'Malley, any tinkering, any of that fancy stuff you have up there, and there will be consequences.
I can agree to that. Now, so long as she makes an honest effort, unlike
Well,
how
looks
she's
like she's
demonstrating
running
right
now.
now.
That's okay. We'll
Ah,
take care of
deja
it.
vu.
I would count it as a failure on discipline if she chooses to skip out on her enclave duties.
Alright, so you're saying basically if she skips out on enclave duties, a failure of discipline, that you may discipline her. Is that correct?
No, we'll return her to you, and you may discipline her.
Huh. Wow, that's much more favorable than I expected.
But we might need some other concession if that is the case.
Alright, well, I guess we're all taking chances, aren't we? Perhaps we're
We
taking
are.
a bigger chance. Alright, acceptable,
Well-
General.
All right. Now, Miss Grace will have to give an oath to not speak about some of the things she might see in our facility. Are you all right with that?
She's gone.
She bolted, General.
She's not in command. I'm speaking to the gentleman in command here.
Right, of course. It's acceptable. Acceptable. We want a fair swap, a fair introduction to each other's operations, for sure. Now the goal here is diplomatic, of course, so we will speak with Grace. We'll make sure that she understands the situation and the severity of it.
Now, I'm not one to set anyone up for failure. If you don't think she can do this, perform, I would be willing to swap out for another.
Oh no, I guarantee she can do this. In fact, she would have been my first choice, to be honest with you. So we'll make it happen, won't we, Lieutenant?
Mm-hmm.
I would be willing to take Keith. I get along with Keith.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it may be a good experience for you to experience what it's like to try to control a storm. So perhaps it would be a good learning experience for everybody. We shall see.
We shall. I think this will be an excellent diplomatic excursion.
Yeah, it's proved to be interesting, and I can't wait to see you on stage, General.
Well, maybe you can fly me there, or fly me home after.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll fly you home.
Perhaps she'll learn how to make reports on an E-pad.
Well, you know what?
Well,
We
that'd
will
be
send her with a
Crayola.
box of Crayola. Yeah, you have to accept certain things are always going to be that way. You understand?
Don't forget the magic markers. Or the permanent ones.
You are aware that the Enclave is a paperless society, right? We don't have paper.
Well, there's some
She
form
can.
of paper. Don't we all wipe our... Right, we all wipe our asses the same way.
You heard here, gentlemen, that
you don't do
Sergeant
those?
Grace might be submitting her. Yes, we do, but we also have bidets.
Well, Lieutenant, you need to take a second and drink a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we all need to
here and
drink.
pop an IV in you.
How about that whiskey, Dutch?
Oh yes. I like to combine my whiskey with certain other spices. If you're into that party, then let's go ahead and party.
I might. I mean, I might have to if I'm going to be dancing.
Drunk.
Please, let's go. I have an XL with your name on it, sir.
If you'll excuse me for one moment, though, we might have to go corral our little Miss Grace. Yep.
Then may we meet you at the Tailhook?
Sure. I don't think I've frequented that bar before, so let's have a party for sure. Thank you,
Gentlemen. We'll see you shortly.
Pleasure as usual, gentlemen.
Likewise.
Let's go to the bar, gentlemen. Let's get on our...
Garrett!
Not the time, Monty.
Grace. The hell is going on?
She's having one of her...
No, I'm comfortably numb.
Alright, I have no idea what's going on here, Grace. What Lieutenant, what is this? What is this?
Walker, it should have been me.
Oh, Clank, by the way, I think your contest is still going on with Cave. He's just popped in.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm shooting him a message now.
Walker, she has moments. And they're not completely stable right now.
I've read the reports.
Yeah.
I've read the reports.
So you know the General Gaster.
Yeah, I understand that. You know what though? Commander Johns wouldn't allow this to happen if there wasn't a good reason. I was actually surprised, to be honest.
Same.
So Grace, you able to speak?
Yeah. I can speak.
Are you strong or are you weak?
You don't even understand what you're asking of me.
You know what I see though when I look in your eyes? I see fear and weakness. I see rejection. So what are you running from?
Because I'm gonna get in there, and they're gonna use their needles, and they're gonna use their devices, and they're gonna take me apart, and they're gonna put me back together.
What?
And then
Talk with me for a second.
I'm not gonna be the same. I see them, Dutch.
So you're at some
see
Go join them, Jameson.
Got it.
Grace.
Say that again?
Why did
You're
you...
taking a wolf and you're putting it on a leash and handing it over to them.
My God. You know what? We share something in common, don't we?
Sure.
Addiction.
Make sure Grace doesn't get hurt.
So what
Try my
are
best,
you
but there's
running
only so
from?
much I can do.
Tell me if she's in
The
trouble.
noise.
I will.
All
You have my pip mail
of the
information.
noise.
You know why I...
Shatter sharp noise.
You know why I think Commander chose you? Why do you think Commander chose you?
You know the general's gonna try and mess with her.
I know.
No fucking clue. Because I was pretty sure I was gonna be a
I
lieutenant.
think it would be an
Because
opportunity for me to
they're
come back to the
an
bunker
officer.
a few more times and make a few more visits than I usually do.
You know why he chose you? It's
Extra
the same
witnesses
reason
wouldn't-
he chose me to be
what I
mean?
where I am today. Had it not been
Suppose
for
I
that
can throw on
man,
some of the
I'd
old
be in
dress
some
blues.
gutter right now dancing
We'll pay
for
some more
caps.
visits.
Now I dance for fun.
Funny.
But you know what? He chose you because he sees the strength
How's that?
within you.
Can you see me following
No fucking clue.
rules?
You know what? Sometimes we have to go outside our comfort zone to really find out what we're made of.
Find out.
Trust me, Cross isn't going to have an
I think they're
easy
the
time.
Tailhook, if you're referring to them.
But
I know the cave
you
is,
are
that's
savvy.
the one.
You need to get in there.
I don't know.
You need to see, absorb, find
Look at
out
the
what's
Tailhook,
going
they're
on
the
there.
Tailhook right.
You've got something over the General that I can't explain, but the information that I've received has proven
Well,
that
Jameson,
guy's
I
got
think
something
that
for
one
you.
over there on the road is
No
here for
offense,
you.
Lieutenant Macklin, I understand the relationship you two
indeed.
share. I don't know if there's a
I've
romantic
already
interest
sent
in
him
this
some
woman or
mail.
not, but
He should be reading it.
he fears you for some reason. In general, fears you. Commander
I could take advantage
feels
of
that,
them
so
on her knees.
you need to use whatever it is that he fears
Oh,
against
that
him.
one heard it. There she goes.
So you need to get in there, Grace. Listen to me. Get in there. Do whatever it is that you're doing, because it's confusing the General. How many conversations have you had with him? We track you. We have trackers on all the Pit Boys of the Fire Breathers. Are you aware of all of the rendezvous she's been having, Lieutenant Macklin?
Dutch?
With the EAF.
No. With the General. We've been tracking her on numerous occasions. They track each other, apparently. They seem to seek each other out. Isn't that right,
Should
Grace?
I don't see.
Go interrupt their conversation.
It's okay, baby.
Alright.
If you
No
want.
one is
That's
accusing
up
you
to
of
your
anything.
discretion.
My point being is the same point that Commander shared with me, and that is there's something about
I'm gonna
you
have to give Dutch's balls
that
a
they
tug.
can't understand. It's exactly why they
What?
chose you.
Looks like there's a decent bit
And
of
so
you guys around.
Vengeance.
I don't guess you'll have a bounty board anywhere, do you?
You know what? Vengeance will be
About
ours if
6
they
feet
touch
up
you
your
in
ass.
any way, shape, or form, and we will install things to you that will
No.
let us know what is
You'd
going
probably
on
be better
at all
off checking out
times.
the foundation or the crater.
How do you think we knew you were in the bunker in the first place when Lieutenant Macklin went down?
6 feet up your ass, like that one, Garrett.
Did you
Yeah,
join the
decent one.
responders to serve Appalachia, or did you join the responders to run around the wasteland acting a fool? This is your chance to serve.
Garrett, who the hell was that?
You need to step up now, Grace.
no
This is a
fuck
make-or-break
fucks.
situation for you. I understand it puts you in a bad situation, but if we're gonna, it's larger than you, Grace. It's larger than you. This
Wouldn't be
whole
surprised.
situation. We need to understand these guys. You have an
I don't hear
opportunity
anything, I bet
to
you-
give us insight.
How about you go see
I'm gonna
what
pick
they're,
Cross's
doing up
brain
there at
apart.
Tail.
He's not even gonna understand what's happening. Sure, they may do the same to you. I can't guarantee your safety. You're right.
You
Alright.
have to
Well, if you want to
sure
talk to me,
that they don't.
I can't hear anything. I'm assuming you do.
Don't
You know, when to go hearing, when to go
What the-
smell, you know,
medical.
side
Don't
effects.
understand.
Mutation.
If
And issues with my augmentation.
it comes down to that, I will.
Listen, Grace, if you feel your life is in
Oh,
danger,
Lord,
legitimately in danger, do what you have to cause as much chaos before
The situation is so
they
fucked.
take you.
Very.
You have to make sure that they
when
cannot
it comes to
take
him placing an
any
order, we don't
DNA
have
from me.
much. It would probably have to be a 50 Yoda
None.
order.
None.
I had to do
Why?
stock of it.
Indeed.
You
I'm
were
sure we can
you
find
were
a
okay
couple
with them
more and
taking
make it
DNA from
100 at
Cave,
least.
or excuse me, from Macklin.
It's
I
not
wasn't.
particularly
I
difficult to make
protested.
them, if I remember right.
I was the protesting
You need to
voice.
eat again.
No, you can eat.
Thanks, Doc.
Would you like some steaks?
I've got a lunchbox.
I can't. I can't. I mean, I'll. Keith, help me explain it.
Her mind is like a... It's like trying to calm a hurricane. It's like her mind is like a room filled with shattered glass that is ever floating. She can see things and sense things that others can't. And she's trying to control it, and we're trying to learn about it. And the more she gets closer to Fox, and the more it agitates. And
Garrett is right here.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I understand.
Look,
Actually,
Walker.
I would understand more.
Look, Walker.
I'll
Cross
do this,
and
but I need guarantees.
Cross and Fox came and had an interview with me, which rapidly turned into an intervention.
Yeah.
And this is just me putting puzzle pieces together without nothing completely concrete, just common sense. They're wanting Grace. They're wanting to study her. They're wanting to find out about her. They're wanting to know everything about her inside and out. And this opportunity just gives them the perfect way and perfect reason under their, air quote, jurisdiction and their, not protocol, what do they call it? Their...
Obligation.
No. What did he call it whenever I said... So...
The curfew?
No.
I understand. I understand. Grace.
What?
Why are you here? Why are you here with the responders? If the storm that is within you is so great, if you're so uncontrollable, if you're so out of control, why are you here? See that hill? Run. Run.
Really?
That's right. Really.
Oh, and also, Dutch, eat that bubble gum because it'll slow down your thirst and hunger. That I just dropped.
And
Where are we? Excuse me.
Right here, right here.
Right beside me.
Yeah.
Right beside me.
Gotcha.
Reese said that the only reason he didn't kill me was because everybody deserves a second chance. I don't know where he is now, what happened to him, but he was a responder. You remember him? He went by the code name of Fate.
I remember. He abandoned us.
Or he died. Happens, he was old.
No, he abandoned us.
He was the one that said everyone deserves a second chance.
Alright, well,
Reminds me of someone else.
listen. This is your chance to serve Appalachia and to prove to yourself that you have strength more than you think. All I see you doing, and all your tough talk, all that I ever see is you running. You're always running.
I'm running the storm, Dutch. It pushes me. And what's gonna happen is if they push, it's going to consume.
Then I ask you, what purpose do you serve then if you're nothing but a storm, ready to erupt? Why are you here? Listen, I'm not without compassion. I understand. I'm not trying to push you into something. But look around us. We've got nothing left. There's nothing. We're all struggling to survive. This is an opportunity to either unite two groups that can help each other, It's a chance for you to help yourself, to prove to yourself that you can control the storm. If something happens to you, Grace, it's going to happen to all of us. It will affect all of us, and it will have repercussions that will be felt through Appalachia. They know this. We've got one of theirs. We have their highest. Underneath a general, of course.
General's puppy dog.
That's right.
Garrett, you didn't hear that.
That's right.
No.
You gotta understand, Grace. This is not about gaining intel. This is about creating potential. I don't necessarily like these guys either. Commander definitely doesn't like them. But you know what? We're getting to the point where we need friends. If they do something to you, we're gonna know. And that will prove once and for all whether or not this is a road we need to travel. We have invested a great amount of time, great amount of resources to this.
Besides Grace, a good friend of ours, Jameson, will be there.
Indeed.
He'll watch
I
out
still have my credentials, and I can get into the bunker as frequent as I need.
Hey, Walker.
Yep.
A moment.
I'll be there when I can, Grace.
One moment.
Garrett will look out for you as well.
I know what you're going to say,
gonna
Lieutenant.
be doing things to cross.
Shot in the dark here, Walker.
Alright.
It's fine. I'll do it. I'll survive. I'll do
What
it.
if we can...
We'll be under constant watch. Don't worry. We'll have eyes around.
What if we could
Monty hugs Grace.
come with a
Says,
agreement or something with
The
one called Rao? She's in there all the time, right?
I'll make
Right.
sure you're taken
She
care
walks around like she owns the place, right?
She does, yet.
What if we could see or make a way, offer her, see if we can get her to watch over Grace and gather intel
I
while
suppose
she's
I'll
in there.
have to get some preparations set up.
Interesting.
So maybe we could offer her something, protection, or something that she could really use to keep an eye out on Grace. And whenever Grace is in there, she could give her.
Best
I know
damn
we
can.
have our emergency, beacons that we can put in. She can give it to her once she gets in.
I was about to say, she would know immediately.
That, Lieutenant, is an excellent idea. I happen to know that Raul is currently staying at the Tick with Commander and Field Commander.
Okay.
But she's in a vulnerable state. I do know that. But you know what?
I didn't know that.
I like that idea. I think that would
And I
give
understand that.
Grace a sense of security that maybe she needs.
A lot of us are dicks.
It's okay, baby. It's okay.
It seems we have some company.
I hope you understand, Lieutenant Macklin, that we wouldn't do this if we
Where?
didn't think
Associates have finally come on back.
there was going to be a greater benefit not only to Grace but to Appalachia.
I understand, Walker. We're on the same page. I just
General?
wanted to, make sure that she's taken care of. And
Can't wait to see you dance.
with a certain friend in there.
Yep, I agree. I will broach this, and I know it's going to take some time. We'll check it out.
Yes.
Very good idea.
Yeah.
Wait, do I have one? I do.
Oh, I'll walk right up for that XP.
I'll return shortly.
Also, Jameson, you're staring at a tree.
Hmm? I'm looking straight at Grace on my end.
Yeah, on my end, you were staring at a tree.
I've been staring at Grace the entire time I've been standing here.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go pickpocket someone.
You do that.
You know,
Just as I said that, Fox backs up.
I was muted. I was talking.
Oh.
I was laughing.
Sorry. It's all right, Mr. Garrett. You don't have to salute. We're on time off after all. Miss Grace. I won't be offended if you need to opt out.
No, it's fine. There are a couple of rules, though.
All right. Tell me these rules. They'll be enforced.
I'm not the ranking officer.
But you'll be spending time with me, Grace. I would like to know these rules.
I'll leave it to
Alright, General. We haven't started this little soiree yet. I'm gonna ask that you keep hands off until we make an exchange officially.
Oh,
if
for
that's
sure.
okay.
But I'm allowed to talk to Grace as a person, aren't I?
Well, you can see that she is a little stressed at the moment, and it's my job to take the accountability of all my folks under my command. That you understand that, right, General?
Of course I do.
Lieutenant Macklin, would you
Yes,
mind
sir.
perhaps taking Grace either back to the FOB or to your place?
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you, sir.
You know,
Come on,
Lieutenant,
Grace.
I am all right with opting out for Grace if she is not in the right mind.
Sir, with all due respect, the decision has been made on our part, so if you would like to opt out, that is on you, sir. But you know what? Spending all this time around you guys got me speaking slow speech like you all. Alright, what the hell? I thought we were going to be partying at this point.
Me too. I'm still
I
waiting.
still
I
have
was
the
just at the bar.
bourbon.
Alright, well, you know what? Party on at
Big
the bar.
Let's go.
Party on, Garth, as they used to say in the olden times.
That's right. Let's see how the EAF roll on that drinking.
You want to go home or the FOB? I have
I sense,
So while we
might-
walk, Dutch, why don't you tell me about what are these extra conditions for Miss Grace?
extra conditions.
That's what she just said. Yes.
Well, you know,
talk to him before
she's
we
not
walk
exactly in her right mind currently. You've definitely,
Yeah, you know what I do? Yeah, actually,
oh, fuck me.
yeah, I do want to talk
Oh,
about extra.
Did I hear
No.
that? Come here, Dutch.
Grace, stand down.
I don't want any medical stuff. I don't need needles. I don't need scans.
Grace, we'll take
I don't
care
need
of
DNA.
we will take care of the
Don't want
details. Grace, we'll take care of the details. Just trust us. Trust that this is a moment that we need to have as a community. Go on. Go on with Lieutenant Macklin.
Come on.
We are unhappy
It's
with
okay.
this.
I understand, Grace.
Don't worry about it, Fox.
General,
Now,
I
Dutch,
don't know. Sir, yes.
don't say fuck me again, cause you'll make me come running.
My God, man. Show some respect for the
I do
uniform.
believe we were talking about having a few drinks, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Have a few drinks.
You know what? I do have a foul mouth. It's cultural. You wouldn't understand unless you were from over the pond or down under.
If you
I don't
keep
know which
up
one I'm
with
from.
it, I will take that ass to bed.
All right, enough. Enough. Apologies, General.
It's alright. I've had a number of encounters with Monty. I've just presumed that the part of his brain that monitors behavior is rotted away, that's all.
Up yours, Fox.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, Commander's choices on, you know, that guy is actually getting ready to become a cadet. Can you believe that?
Oh, Monty,
Oh my.
really?
In fact, he's going to be walking with you, Cross, same bridge.
Oh boy.
I think it's-
Auntie?
that's right. Don't get me started.
Oh my, you've got your hands full this week, Dutch.
I'm not exactly sure if that would be a wise decision, but
you know
alright,
what?
It's your call.
It's one that's not my call actually, and I have questioned it many times, as you might imagine. Monty's constantly up my rear. Pardon the pun, Monty. However,
stop leading him on there, Dutch. Jeez.
That's my job.
You say that more, he's gonna come running.
Oh, fuck me. What the hell? Slow response time.
Bloody Norrats?
General, I do have to speak candidly, of course, on Grace.
Please do.
Why does she fear you?
Because we share a certain affliction, and she, I'm sure, does not like the idea that I've had to help her on a few occasions.
I have a psych profile. You know, she's just skating the edge of being let go. And, I don't know that we have the technology or the understanding to know what her mental illness may be. Is it a mental illness that she's suffering from?
It's actually more of a mental heightening. I should discuss it more without her present. This is her mind, of course.
Sure, that's fine.
But she's not a schizophrenic or anything like that.
Of course not. She only acts that way.
This is identifiable behavior in some of the individuals with heightened brain activity.
So you mean to tell me that individuals that draw with crayons have heightened brain activity?
Well, you know, there are some people that, Look, I can't tell you exactly what Grace's skill set is, but what I can tell you is that through some of our unique technologies, we've identified that some of the things that she sees do come true, in fact.
So let me ask you this, then. Why did you choose her?
We have a unique relationship. She doesn't like the Enclave, obviously, and the condition that she's plagued with is something very similar that I've had to deal with. We have the medications for it. You do not. That's why I'm in just the fine situation that I am. Now, Grace has partaken of these medications in the past, and it has helped her. But of course, I'm not one to force anything upon her, and now I also,
now wait a
my
minute,
personality.
you're telling me that Grace has taken what amounts to drugs, chems, from your organization?
Oh, from me in specific.
From you?
Yes.
Huh, interesting.
Yes.
You know,
as
she
a
does
private
have...
individual.
Right, but she has addictive personality, and she actually is an addict. You're aware of that, correct?
I am aware of that, and the only instances from when this has happened is the initial injection was due to her life being in danger with these cultists.
Right.
Her mind was, well, she was not in control.
See, part of the problem is that Grace tends to wander outside the boundaries that we've put forth upon responders, and that is where she tends to get herself in trouble. Not only with her situations that she chooses, but with us as well. I don't know how many times we have found her off course, whether it be outside of the parameters of her patrols, or in the case of her friend, Lieutenant Macklin, having to be rescued by your organization. Now, no offense, we appreciate the assistance, but that was a complete breach of protocol.
Right, if you want to get in, you'll have to talk to Mr. Cross.
I think it's quite alright if I go in.
My apologies, but without his permission, I'd rather stay on the safe side. If you can... Oh.
Does he really not know who he's talking to?
What's all this hubbub?
Mr. Cross, of course you give permission for these men to enter?
Of course, of course. These are my compatriots. Let them in.
it's good
Anytime
to
they want to come in, they are welcome.
Understood.
I'm afraid,
not
Mr.
made clear
Cross, you
before.
might not, in fact, get much business if this is how you keep a closed door policy.
Oh, I didn't intend for it to be a closed door policy. My, you and I are going to have a discussion about what your job is.
I mean, son, this
Well,
is
when no one is around, then I
this is a
see no
this is
reason to let anyone in.
a this is a bar, right? This is an establishment of drinking.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you're scary with that mask. I think I'll move on.
Out of character, I will be back in a moment.
My apologies for the miscommunication.
Look at this place. I didn't know you guys had it in
Look,
you.
just size people up as they enter. If they look like cultists, turn them away. If they keep trying to enter and they're cultists, shoot them.
Understood. I assume anyone else is allowed entry?
Mind if I play?
Yes. To the bottom
That
levels.
is most entertaining. I was going to do the same thing. Allow me to join you, Dutch.
Ah, please do. I like to tickle the ivories on occasion.
If any fighting happens, it happens in the pit. If someone decides to fight outside of the pit and no wages are placed, they are to be removed.
Where'd you learn to play, General?
In the vault. Classic jazz, mostly.
A vault man you were.
Vault 76, in fact.
Ah, nice. Okay. I'm surprised we
Mid-level
didn't
security
cross paths.
manager.
Yeah, that explains it. I really wasn't doing much of anything back then. Maybe some drugs here or there.
I may or may not have partaken on a few interesting evenings after
I
shift.
just can't shake these nightmares. Floating in space forever.
So is this your local watering hole?
Why?
I'm afraid this is an unusual departure from my routine. I don't come here very often. I normally drink at the White Springs.
Yeah, I've heard about that. You have a little lady friend as well, don't you?
Yes, the Countess Vivienne de Vries.
Wait a minute. You're with one of them?
Define them, sir.
I mean, doesn't she have that unique ability?
Yes, I suppose so. But she
Right.
is also a Enclave citizen.
What does that mean? You gotta understand, and up until about 6 months ago, we had no idea you guys existed.
What that means is that we want to bring our culture to the world, obviously, but it's been difficult, as you've seen. Citizens are people that have taken up the banner of the Enclave and our culture and our way of life.
Right.
She has left the House of Requiem and is now completely with the Enclave.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not overly familiar with this House of Requiem. They have come up occasionally, but, you know, as long as they're not causing problems.
Well, unfortunately, their leader is this vampire Vincent Tepesh, and he's the one causing the issues.
Right.
Afternoon.
I believe he burned down Precinct 13, was it?
Yeah, I do believe that's what the...
Man.
Oh, Lieutenant. What can we help you with?
Well,
Did
I
you get it
wanted
back?
to throw in. I did.
I just can't shake these
I
nightmares.
wanted to throw in one
Floating in space
thing
forever.
for both parties.
Just
And,
why?
you know, I know you'll probably, you know, agree to this, Fox. Midweek, or, you know, or whenever, at least a 1 or 2 medical wellness checks for both parties.
Right. I think that sounds fair.
We'll have myself or a medical officer go and check on Grace, and then you'll have one of your medical staff come and check on Cross.
So be
Make
it.
sure everything's all orderly.
I'll have Dr. Pseudo come and check on Cross. And we normally operate in 4 days on, 4 day off periods. I would just request your medical check is conducted during her 4 day off normal scheduling.
Right, and we'll have, I think Field Commander Anders should be available. I'd like to send our best if possible. I know, General, you probably won't mind that, right?
No, of course not. It's always a pleasure to see her.
Alright, that sounds fair and equitable. I think, gentlemen, as we are prepared to share drinks, it should be understood that this is, while yes, it's a disciplinary action and perhaps an exchange in cultural differences, if we will, that the goal here is simply to create perhaps a bond, an understanding between all of us that might enable us to unite in a way that we haven't been able to do before. I know there's a lot of animosity, especially on the responder part, if I'm being completely transparent. This is a chance for us to learn about each other and perhaps to gain a little more trust. So
I just can't shake these nightmares.
I can't shake these nightmares
Floating
either.
in space forever.
What the fuck? Through the walls?
Just why?
Alright, sorry.
Their paper's thin.
So I understand. To get back to it, let's drink tonight. Let's put differences aside, suspicions aside. Let's just drink. Let's just drink and do drugs. Did I say that out loud?
I'm a drug dealer, so...
I believe you did.
I apologize.
You know what I have to say is, let's be merry.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Let's get it done, gentlemen.
I think I have some. Hold on.
All right.
Mr. Cross, do you have drinks in your bar? I hope you do.
Of course, sir.
Alright, what kind of drugs y'all want?
Then we shall drink and be merry. General and Cross, sorry to interrupt you, General. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, no thank you, Monty. I happen to have my own, my favorite little Excel that I'll take.
Yeah, I know. And when you want a new batch of those, let me know.
And I was just going to say thank you all for hosting this lovely little soiree. What you got back there, Cross? I've heard you'll got the magic fingers from Barnett. Mix me up a little concoction.
Wow.
The rumors persist.
Alright. Let's see. Only the best for such close friends.
Yeah, we're all good friends here. Oops.
Do you happen to have a scotch or a whiskey?
I do have whiskey, General.
Well,
then I believe a whiskey for myself and the good lieutenant. Is that correct?
Absolutely, that's my dance for sure. A little whiskey and overdrive. We'll do it every time.
Just why?
So, you said the Enclave has the ladies, right? I mean...
Yes, the Enclave has the ladies. Maybe not as much as the 5-0, but we have some.
Very nice. You know what? It doesn't matter who has what, as long as there's ladies. That's all that matters.
You know we don't all come out of tubes, right?
I mean, honestly, the information we have on you guys, you know, is sketchy at best. It tends to be a little watered down, a little pre-war. Oh, nice. Thank you, sir. I'll take a little bit of that.
Excellent. Well, why don't you ask me something, Dutch? Something you've always wanted to know that you can gossip about later.
Wonderful. All right. Well, let's start with why you all talk the same. Why that cadence? Why that slow, methodical, well thought out cadence? Is that part of your programming, or?
I think you can blame Modus for that one.
Uh-huh. Indeed.
It's a cultural thing. The theory behind it is you will be able to tell whether or not you have a groom's attention if you make them wait for the answer. and they stay quiet.
Right, it's kind of like whispering. When I whisper, you have to really pay attention.
That's right.
Right. I understand. Makes sense. All right.
Well, some of it's attitude.
Right. Yeah, I understand. It's very It definitely carries a certain aura about it, like almost like a branding, if you will.
Well, there is a level of education involved as well, and a lot of our automated instructional lessons are directly put into our people. And unfortunately, a lot of the instructor lessons are done by the same individual who speaks very similar to us.
Mm-hmm. So why the appeal of that?
It's a very quick and efficient way to learn these different lessons. It makes it much, much easier to get through training, especially when you want to have a soldier. When you want to have soldiers who all have the same level of elite training.
My God, gentlemen. No offense, gentlemen, but I mean, when do you take a time to live life a little bit?
4 days off.
4 days off.
4 days off, and what do you do during that time?
Well, the General and I just played golf yesterday.
Golf? Alright, well...
And tomorrow's Sunday? Tomorrow we have to tee off at 0900, isn't that right, Mr. Cross?
We do.
Except for you might be busy. I'll have to tee off without you this time.
Oh, such a shame.
So,
We go to the movies, Dutch. We go to the bar.
Wow.
We go on dates. We have a life.
Right. Yeah, I've heard. It's very sterile sounding, I gotta admit. I mean, maybe you're just not selling it well enough, but I mean, honestly, all I've seen is what I'm seeing here is a room full of gents all sharing drinks and talking about what they did do or do or whatever. I mean, no offense. I'm not trying to be offensive. It's a different culture. It's like you said. But wow, I've just realized that I'm the only responder in the room. Well, fuck me a couple times over. That's what you do.
You might trigger Monty, please.
Gets us drinking and...
Yes.
And now you see what part of our problem is, Dutch.
Yeah, you can clear a room.
Go out. We often try to go out and learn, but they're often not willing to come and learn what's valuable to us. I'm hoping this exercise will change that.
I get it. You know what? I've always been a bit of an outsider, and I think that's maybe why Commander has me where I am. He tends to surround himself with individuals that are, you know, a little less likely to be in positions of authority, if we do say so. But I mean, you gents seem like a nice enough fare, but I got to admit, it is a little suspect the way that you operate, and it's just so sterile and so clinical.
Well, exactly. Efficient, clean, and disciplined.
Have you looked around, though? I mean, what do you propose to do with this waste of wasteland that we have? Isn't it time to just kind of let go and allow people to live their lives? I mean, why bring back formulaic government?
Government is what prevents chaos, Mr. Walker.
Weren't we being I don't mean to interrupt you, but weren't we being governed as we were being exploded upon? Isn't that government what we were living?
As the bombs did drop, yes, there was government, and government is the reason that people survived.
Was it government or was it private industry?
Private industry contracted by the government. After all, how do you think Vault-Tec got the money to make the vault?
Let me tell you a little rumor I heard. Alright? I heard that Vault-Tec was really nothing more than an experiment.
What?
That's what I heard. You haven't heard that rumor?
No.
Right.
Why? That sounds awful.
That's surprising.
It
I
does.
just can't shake these nightmares.
Have you,
Floating in
you've been
space
in the
forever.
local vaults, right? I haven't found an
Just
experiment in any
why?
of them.
No,
I mean, we preserved people in 76, gold bullion.
But isn't it interesting
in,
that
79.
wasn't it interesting though that government and all of its protectiveness created the very shelters, the very institutions that would protect us from the destruction they caused?
Well, just to be clear, the Red Menace, the communists, they attacked first. We did not shoot first. And the shelters that were constructed, that was a protective measure from the resource wars in Europe and Asia.
Ah, Garrett.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit of conspiracist myself. You know, I don't believe that. I don't believe that society destroyed itself. I think that the picture is a little bit more minuscule than that. I think individuals knew they would survive and then cause this chaos.
Now that is some very serious speculation there.
It is.
All I know is... Go ahead.
Oh no, continue.
No, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, all the painstaking amounts of money and man-hours that were used to create shelters for people to live in, one of which you were in, weren't you, Mr. Walker?
I was.
And to preserve the people and the precious resources of America, I mean, to say that what people caused this war just because they felt like it? I don't understand. I'm not following.
You know what? You need to sit down with Commander Johns one day. He has this whole thing worked out. I mean, maybe, you know what? To be honest with you, I think the guy's sometimes flipped his lid a little bit. But I respect... You don't say anything. I respect the man. But he does make valid points. He makes valid points about organizations, subterfuge, underground governments, all designed to create this chaos in order to achieve ultimate power. Now, I look around and I say, Commander, ultimate power over what? Dust? I mean, look around. We're sitting in a bar. This is a beautiful bar, by the way. But
thank you.
You know, we piecemeal it together. I mean, this isn't living, is it? This isn't living the way we lived before the bombs dropped. So,
well, to be fair, this bar itself was created by Enclave prefabrication through use of robots and airdropped materials.
See, I mean, isn't that excuse my language, but isn't that fucking weird to you?
No, not at all.
So you guys have all of this prefab material, but the rest of us struggle with basic wood. So where did you get your materials?
It was stored.
By what?
And we do send out robots to go and gather more materials all the time.
And we have a weekly action. We rebuilt the Rockhound. We're gathering raw materials from there as well.
Indeed.
So understand though.
I just can't shake these nightmares.
From Commander's point of view,
space forever.
You all come onto the scene,
Why?
right?
Yeah.
After about a year or so. Now I can't speak. I don't know your history, but you come on the scene and you have all this technology that was based upon, from what we understand, some form of government that had pre-planned this acquisition, right? So theoretically, you are the product of the very thing we are talking about, the subterfuge government that's looking to create chaos in order to achieve power.
For the sake of argument, yes, I agree. In that interpretation, I agree. It does look rather suspect, especially with how we do business and callously change people's minds and so forth and so forth, right?
And don't be alarmed, but I do realize that more and more of you are showing up, and it's just me here. So let me be clear that we're all friends here, right?
Of course we are.
Of course.
All right, just making clear, making clear. I'll have another one of those whiskeys. Continue, General. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Pardon me.
No, that's perfectly fine. Now, try to picture this from our point of view. We were hand-selected to help society re-establish order after a tremendous apocalypse that was started by an age-old enemy. And that is regrettable that much of our glorious country has been damaged as such. It is our duty and glorious purpose to help those of the wasteland. And when we come back on scene and evaluate the cause, what do we find? Tribals and raiders and even our very own Enclave contacts that we were supposed to meet up with have either died, gone mad, or squandered their opportunities and resources. We are now in a position where while we have high levels of technology, we can't just go hand it out like stim packs, otherwise it would all evaporate overnight. There's a certain amount of planning that has to go into long-term indoctrination or assistance. Now, in our lives, there's nothing wrong with what we have. This is not some organization that has stolen the technology and secrets from the old world. You understand, in our culture, we are the government. The government has never stopped. It's like taking an army that goes overseas to fight China, alright? Just because that army is fighting overseas and it loses contact with the government, the army doesn't stop and magically start electing a new government. They finish their mission and go home.
Understood.
Like, this is how we view the wasteland, because you have lost contact with your government due to this horrendous emergency. Now the people of the wasteland just magically have stopped believing in America, and this is very disturbing to us as a culture.
Right. Now let me stop you right there, because you've hit on a couple key points.
Sure.
An organization or a government or whatever it is you speak of deliberately sets you in play, correct?
Yes, of course.
Well, yes.
Right. Now, who asked for you to be set in play? What gives you authority, or moral authority, to come into desolation and reorganize? Now, before you answer that, I understand. The argument has been made about us. We show up, we organize, we try to create a system of checks and balances and assist those who seek assistance. However, the difference is we do not assert authority, right? So when we are asked for assistance, we provide, but we do not assert our authority. So what I understand from you is you wish to assert your authority upon the rest of us, whether we want it or not. Is that correct?
Can I take that question, General?
Alright, but take it carefully.
Of course. So, you would agree that the United States, before all of this, was a democracy, yes?
Of course, yes.
A democratic country. And the presidents were all elected democratically. And so, therefore, their executive orders that they established and then were later made into law by Congress would be legitimate laws, correct?
Correct.
Now, what if I told you that all the way back during the presidency of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Enclave was formed. At least, the initial plans for it.
Right, I'd have to take your word for it.
Well, during the presidency of Dwight D. Eisenhower, he issued an executive order for the continuity of government for this very specific thing, for this very occasion, if the United States were to be marred by a nuclear apocalypse. Back then, it was our issues with the Soviets, but later it became an issue with the Chinese. You understand?
Right, I follow you.
Now,
Can't shake these nightmares.
later, as time progressed, Congress officiated this and made it law, not just executive order, though executive order does have the force of law. So
they officiated what, though? The creation of the Enclave, or retention of power through... you lost me there, because my understanding in government is that it just kept continuing down the chain. You know, if the president was lost, it would go to the vice president. The vice president to the yeah. So, at what point did they officiate the Enclave? Now, was that something that's secretive, that is still unproven? I mean, where can the evidence be for this? Now, listen to me when I say this. I don't question the fact that you have a strong military presence, and obviously, by what we've seen and all of the assistance you provided, which is greatly appreciated, by the way, that you have the potential to exert force and to forcefully take possession of Appalachia. We personally don't have the resources to fight you, and that's not really what we look to do. So obviously your restraint currently has been something that has been appreciated and has shown great faith, and I think is why we as the responders have while we are still skeptical, have not sought powers or repercussions from your authority. So obviously you could take authority and you haven't. So beyond the explanation that you're giving, why haven't you taken authority?
Well, you see, we've noticed that some of the wasteland population is resistant to authority, and we want to introduce ourselves to them slowly. So
is
that
the door open, by the way?
The bouncer has the keys.
All right, thank you.
We want to introduce it to them slowly, so that they can come into understanding of what the Enclave is, so that they can understand that we are not their enemies. We are the government. We are here to help.
Right, but if you're the government, why wouldn't you come in sooner? You see people are suffering. Why wouldn't you exert your authority now to save Appalachia?
Do you understand how many people would truly accept us if we were to just come swooping in?
What I understand is that we struggle to keep supplies available to Appalachians daily. We have starving folks all throughout Appalachia. You have the resources to fix this. Why don't you just fix it?
When you're ready, Mr. Cross, I'll take over.
Of course. I can handle this question, though. You see, we initially did have plans. We meant to have vertibird airdrops that would consistently drop supplies all around Appalachia. The problem is that traitor, Mr. Eckhart, and his buffoons packed many of the supply crates with the wrong things. And now it's caused this great suffering because of his actions, his treason against the Enclave's goal.
Right.
That we're still recovering from.
Alright, and I think that Commander would agree with you on Eckhart, that's for sure. I mean, I'm speaking beyond my pay grade, for sure. This is a conversation that Commander should be having as well, but I understand what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but if I'm being candid, we can't hold on much longer, and I see two things happening here. Either you are intentionally withholding assistance from Appalachia, or you don't possess the power that you say you have.
Have we withheld assistance from Appalachia?
Well, I mean, you're trying to win the people,
I just can't shake
right?
these
So
nightmares.
why not just
Floating in
win the
space
people?
forever.
Why not just come in?
Just
We are at our last wit's end. We are fighting a battle with the Vultures Raider gang. We are fighting against the Free States militia. Grace, what the hell are you doing here? Now's not the time, Grace. We're having a constructive conversation.
That's how we were drinking tonight.
Oh my
We
god.
have been drinking, Grace. Come join us.
General, I don't know if that's the best idea.
I see that now that she stepped out.
Oh my.
Grace, first of all, put away the
Is she wearing Raider face paint? And
put away
carrying a
put away the gun. Grace, put away the gun.
Just stay back, gentlemen. Allow her to express herself. She will not take kindly if you corner her.
Indeed.
Keep chatting. Just gonna put my feet up on the coffee table. You guys debate your things. I'll be fine.
Grace.
You're good,
No,
Dutch.
Let's give us some
Alright.
space.
Alright.
Yeah, let's just go back to what we were doing. Corporal, please, if you wouldn't mind taking up the bass and setting the mood.
Sure.
Careful,
We're
libation.
gonna have
Director
just
Boomhauer,
a conversation.
the man is here.
Grace.
What? I'm here because we were supposed to be doing this
Director
before tomorrow
himself,
morning,
what
right?
a pleasure.
Grace, you should be at home sleeping.
Evening, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Good
Not
evening,
gonna happen.
Director.
But it's okay.
Good to see you, Director. Please, come have a drink with us.
Alright, then I ask that you
Sir.
just please remain
Oh,
here.
dog's
The
outside.
director and
Brought you a nice little gift here.
What's the matter, Dutch?
Pull it out of my.
You afraid of me?
Did you take care of the dogs outside?
Grace,
or
there are
something?
things in play you don't understand.
Dogs.
You need to just
Yeah.
And here any.
please
Oh, thank
just
you, sir.
sit here and listen.
Oh, you're very
I'm
welcome.
fucking sitting here, Dutch. Give me a drink.
Dog over here.
Alright, let me get a drink for Grace
Hello?
here.
Of course, feel free.
Thank you.
Damn hounds biting at bricks.
Alright, Grace, what will it be?
Rubbing alcohol at this point.
My god, woman, don't embarrass me.
Maybe a bourbon then?
I got you. I got you. You have any Calmex on you?
What does
There
it
you go.
matter? We're off duty, right? You can't search me.
Now, I want you to take some Calmex and have this bourbon, alright? This couch looks lovely. Go ahead and have these two things. Ma'am, if you wouldn't mind just keeping an eye on
So
her.
how are things, General?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm just holding
Happy
my
to hear.
tongue for the moment. I'm about to make a point with my good friend Dutch here. But I want to make sure everyone
Please
has a
don't
drink
let me
first.
hold you.
I'm
Oh,
just
but
gonna
come join us afterwards,
Just gonna
please.
take my seat. Pardon the interruption there, General.
I didn't know you played the piano, Clark.
No, it's never an interruption. I'm actually really happy that Grace is here. To go back to our point, I'll begin with answering your first question: who gives the authority? Well, the truth is the authority
I'll try
comes
the
from
tuba.
President Dick Richardson, and he is the last formal
I just can't
standing
shake these
president of the
nightmares.
Enclave who signed the
Floating in space
Emergencies
forever.
Act and National Defense Acts.
Just
Now,
why?
that gentleman set up a number of things in place, including the signing of the contracts with the subcontracted Vault Tech to create all the emergency shelters and bunkers.
Doesn't sound right.
This was still in effect back in 2077 and part of our intended plan. Now,
I hate that
the
word
second
plan.
question-
Alright, just so you know, that word plan, just that word in itself sounds nefarious. Go ahead.
You telling me the responders? You don't have a operational emergency plan, a disaster relief plan, a medical relief plan?
We do, but you got to understand, you yourself have stated that this is an organization that was set up.
Yes.
While you say by government institution, the very thing that you're trying to establish now, I understand. But the records are sketchy on that even, aren't they?
Not for us, sir.
The hell?
Not for you, though, but for... You have to understand, coming into Appalachia in a state of non-governance and trying to impose governance without any recognized authority is going to be a difficult task. And I say that not because I am trying to fight you on it, but if we're going to assist you in that task, it's going to be an uphill battle. In fact, the very individuals that we are at war with are adamantly against government. And trust me when I tell you, the Free States Militia are a formidable institution. And you're dealing with a majority of the population here that are not looking to be governed anymore. So I will stop arguing you and let you finish your point.
Some of their arrows are explosive.
No, it's a valued point, and a point that answers in and of itself one of your other questions. Why don't we just take Appalachia?
Right.
We could. And that wouldn't solve anything. The whole purpose behind the government is to help the people, right? If we just took it without an understanding, a cultural and social and national understanding, it wouldn't be a society. It would be...
Raiders.
Exactly, Grace. Exactly. And that won't help anything or anyone. Something we have discovered in the EAF is that our national culture has been preserved. Now, the Enclave itself is an institution that goes back well before the last president. It goes back further than the Great War. I'm not sure the founding date, but it goes back long enough to be ingrained within all parts of society. Now, this Enclave has always meant to be the guiding hand for the purpose of helping to shape society in advancing our culture, our technology, advancing the human race as a whole. And then, instead of just inflicting control on the entire population, it's more like the Enclave, which is by the definition of what the name states.
What are you doing out here?
It's a group of like-minded individuals within a larger group, a larger collective. The Enclave is meant to be the nucleus at the center of the larger country and nation, and to help guide the people through their own advancement. Now, our internal culture is drastically different than even the citizens of pre-war America. Now that we've had the incidents that we have with the Great War and the Resource Wars and the trials and horrors of Appalachia, we find the cultural difference is so great, it's almost like we're two different nations. So no, we can't just come and take up control of everything. It would basically be like an occupation, and that's not what we're here to do. That is not what we are designed for as well. We're not here to have an Enclave soldier on every doorstep and street corner. We're here to set up the bigger plan. We're here to operate on a national level. We're not here to operate on a state or even municipal level. We can, but it's not efficient, and that is something we abhor, is inefficiency.
So you tell me, though, that you are still out of contact with your greater organization, isn't that correct? So theoretically, you're all alone.
Theoretically, but we have faith.
Faith? Yeah, we had faith they wouldn't drop the bomb on us as well. So
Well,
what happens
we
if
did
you
not
don't
drop the
have?
bomb.
We did not have that such faith.
Right. So what happens when your greater organization no-shows?
I just can't shake these nightmares.
I would like to point out
Floating in space forever.
that we are talking to you for a reason,
Why?
Dutch.
Right.
And we acknowledge our shortcomings, and we are trying to grow and learn and reestablish some form of communication and connection with the people, no matter how difficult that might be.
Well, I commend you. I do. I commend you because, as I said, right now you do have the ability to just swoop in and enforce your rule, and you don't. So that shows, I think, at least a momentary pause in thought process that may be, you know, that you're thinking a little bit deeper than just the master plan, as you put it, or, you know, the plan. I understand. I hope.
The plan went out the window when we came to the White Springs and everyone was already dead.
Right. Understood. And I think that is an area of common ground that we can agree upon, is that all the plans that were in play, whether it be the responder plans to provide robotic assistance and general life, you know, life skills, that went out the window. And they perished. And your plans, hopefully, you know, for your sakes, you have your master organization that will realign itself, and perhaps they will provide the necessary means. I think at this point, though, we are all in the same boat. We're in a boat that is sinking, and that while you may impose law and order, as we have tried to do, or people have forced us to try to do, there simply is nothing to rebuild upon. And that, I think, is the sad fact. But that's subjective.
A very dull view.
I just can't shake these
I mean,
nightmares.
tell me,
Floating in space
have you
forever.
ever seen a gek?
Why?
I have.
Now, what if we had 100 geks here in Appalachia?
Alright.
What if I could tell you that as soon as we get contact, we could likely get the schematics for these geks and produce them to rebuild Appalachia?
Alright, so alright, that sounds science fiction to me. So you're saying rebuild rebuild people, because if you've noticed, there's no children in Appalachia, right?
There are indeed children in Appalachia.
Very few, which means that the population is no longer reproducing as it should be.
Indeed. This tends to happen when people are living a bleak existence.
That's
quite sad.
Okay, so that's my point, is that are you waiting for the mother organization to come into play before you make your move on Appalachia, or are you honestly just trying to win the hearts and minds of the people?
The hearts and minds of the people is our priority for now. The mother organization, we can't wait around forever for it. We need to act, and we are.
So be it. You know, I think
I just can't shake these nightmares.
We think they're pretty words
Floating in space
made
forever.
by pretty people,
Just
made for pretty
why?
dreams.
my God, Grace. You know, she does
How
speak a
about
little bit
some-
of truth, though.
Well, how about some pretty actions? How about our immediate jump to action in defense of the responders? The aid we have provided, as you said.
Right.
I don't know if you're aware or not, but we do help people in the wasteland. We do provide medical aid to multiple of them. As a matter of fact, we have a hospital, or at least a temporary medical center, not as large as the good Dr. CJ's, but it is something. It is very advanced, though, and we're putting it out there to help minimize the symptoms of these gas attacks, and to help other things, like perhaps birthing of children, perhaps basic medical attention education. We are building things, but it takes time, and I'll tell you something straight up, that perhaps some people will chagrin for me mentioning it, but we have a lot of power, sure. We have a lot of technology, yes. But there's not that many of us, Dutch. We don't have the personnel stationed on every street corner. We're doing what we can, and there is a plan in place to help people. Now the problem is most individuals we run against, or run into, want to eat us, or shoot us, or take what we have. Take the Brotherhood as an example. This military force from Canada, and the very first thing out of their faces, hostility. How are we supposed to take that?
Why?
Well, we can agree with you on that. We've already been screwed by them once. So, I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
This goes hand in hand with the other enclave, Remnants. I'm sorry for our organization. It should have been better. The EAF is what the enclave should have been. But between the traitors, and between the breakdown in communication sometime during the Great War, I can't speak for all the answers, as we were in Vault 76, most of us. But these other groups, the ones that your organization had to fight as well, these are all people that should have been in line, but weren't. And when the communication broke down, I'm afraid that they went rogue. And on a personal and professional level, it disgusts me. And now we are left holding the bag of this dirty legacy within Appalachia. And I'm abhorred every time I meet somebody who knows something about them. They say we're evil. Every time we turn around and try to help somebody, if they don't think we're evil, they ask, who the hell are you? And as a soldier who has sworn an oath to the United States government, to be told that the very thing I swore my life to is fictitious, is a slap in the face. Try to look at it from our point of view in that regard.
Oh, absolutely. Again, don't get me wrong. I tend to speak my mind. I don't speak on behalf of Commander or Lieutenant or Field Commander Anders. I am simply giving you observations from what I've seen in the field and what I know of our general protocol. Our concern, if I'm being honest, is simply authoritative action. If there is no formal government, and you are saying you are the formal government in place, ready to act, and you have the power and the will to do so, then do so.
We are.
Doesn't mean you have to take over, but exert your force now. In the sense of providing good, right? So you've been supplying medical supplies, you've been helping us for sure. So now it's time to take the next step and profess your desire to help Appalachians, whether they accept you or not. I think the concern is that if we don't accept you, if Appalachians don't accept you, that your rule or your authority will be pushed upon them or forced upon them. That's simply the issue at hand. Will you force your rule upon those who wish not to be ruled or governed by your government? Just one question. Yes or no?
I really beg to answer that question with yet another question. And that question is, since when, in the entire history of America, did we tolerate rebellion? Half of this entire country rebelled once. They wanted to kill and enslaved and dehumanized people. And the American government came
I
in
just can't shake these nightmares.
and brought them back
Floating
in
space
and
forever. Just
intended to
why?
enforce a strict rule of Reconstruction, even went so far as to burn a city to the ground for their insurrection. So, tell me, what do you think we should do in such a situation? Do you think that these people, that we shouldn't crush a rebellion if it rises up? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that the people should have the right to choose. You should be an elected authority, not an imposed authority. Are you prepared to be elected, or are you prepared to enforce your authority?
Well, this goes back to perceptions again, Dutch. From our cultural point of view, we are the last standing elected authority, and just because this state has gone rogue, it does not mean this is not America. We have the paperwork that tells us that we are the standing officials. Now, just because a group of people don't want to listen to the police force in a city, if you have a house party and the cops show up at your house, you don't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't really want to follow the law today." And the cops just go, "Oh, all right," and leave. No, they arrest everyone. That's
Right.
how government works. Now, as far as our records show, that we are in a state of national emergency, and martial law has been imposed
I
until
just
the
can't
emergency
shake these nightmares.
subsides, and our
Floating in
instructions
space forever.
are to, once the emergency
Just
has ended, that we are then to go immediately into a new election.
The hell?
Alright.
Now, if you look around the wasteland, I don't know about you, but I believe we are still in quite a crisis.
Yeah, I guess that's a differing in opinion. I think the world has burned, and it is settled, and it is settled into its rhythm. There are those who choose a life that is ungoverned. There are those that enforce their rules onto others, such as the raiders, or their lifestyle. And then there are those, such as ourselves, who are trying to provide some type of order to the chaos. So, again, I have no authority. I hear what you're saying, and I will take that back, because everything is recorded on my vest cam here. I will give this information to the commander.
Definitely need to work on my form.
And I just tell you though, speaking from experience, whether we're here or not, you fight an uphill battle, my friends. Because Appalachians, they don't want government. They just want food and water.
Well, in order to provide it, you need organization. In order to have proper organization, you need logistical supply chains, you
I
need
just can't shake
management.
these nightmares.
Government is management.
Floating in space
And
forever.
we picked you, responders,
Just why?
because we felt you were in touch with what the right direction is for Appalachia.
And that's my
We have
concern. That's my concern, sir, is that our perception and what we've found shows us that government is dead. Now we will support you as far as we can, so long as you do not enforce through lethality, such as the individual that we met. Now I understand that individual by Commander Johns' decree himself was part of a terrorist organization. However, what I witnessed the other night was exactly the fear we have from individuals such as yourselves. It was a deliberate maiming and a deliberate mockery of an individual who was in custody and who had no ability to defend themselves. Now, I understand we all have rogue issues here and there, and I'm not judging you based upon that one criteria. But understand, when push comes to shove, individuals will look at that.
What about the responders? Will the responders have restraint? Be the upstanding morality that is required? Because where I sit, I choose to have faith in you, even though no Enclave soldier has ever shot or ever harmed a responder. Yet, that is not true in the opposite. And you sit here before me with an American governmental flag on your arm, sir. So I choose to have faith in you.
I'm just gonna practice here.
Understood. Understood, and valid points.
I see you through that stealth.
I will give you that, sir. There has been incursions, and I think ultimately, General, you have a prized possession of the responders sitting behind me.
Actually,
well, she's no longer there.
Fighting with some of us, yes.
Fortunately, I now just looked around. So let me take that back, but let me just say, treat her with respect, sir, and you will earn great favor. And
I hope so.
We will do the same for Agent Cross. I think this was a constructive conversation. I learned a lot tonight.
Do me one
Come
favor,
on, what do you guys join in?
I will show Grace the utmost respect, as after all, I have spent some time with her. But I will tell you this about Mr. Cross.
I've stated them before.
Don't treat him as a diplomatic liaison. Make sure you treat him as one of your...
I prefer my rifle.
Well, one of your recruits, hot off the press, you know?
Oh, for sure, yes. He will receive the same treatment. Now, granted, he's a few weeks behind, but we'll catch him up pretty quickly. And, yeah, we look forward to seeing him on Cadet Row.
Stand up, hands up.
Gentlemen, I appreciate your hospitality this evening.
Yes, and perhaps we will have a less sober and more elated conversation when we have our little face-off at, what is it, Watoga Willie's, you said?
Watoga Willie's, yep, you'll be familiar. I think you are familiar with Raul.
Why?
Yes, Raul is actually a fairly
Someone
close
get me
friend
up, we
of
can go
mine.
again.
Yes, well, she happens to be somehow part owner of that facility, so it should be an interesting time.
Fiddling Grace, let's go again.
I'm never going to hear the end of it, Dutch.
I look forward to it. General, appreciate your time.
It has been a pleasure, Dutch, and next time let's set up some of that overdrive, shall we?
Absolutely.
Just between you and me in the bar here.
Let me see if I can speak with Grace before I head out.
Come on!
My God, she's like a banshee running around, crazed.
I guess I'll be seeing you bright and early in the morning.
Got me good.
Mr. Walker.
That's right, Cross. We'll have your bonk ready. I hope you
Bonk?
Yeah, you know, a bonk. It's not White Spring, unfortunately. It's the best we can do.
My, look at that.
Oh.
I need to practice my stance more.
I did not know
Show yourself.
that responders lived on site. Okay.
That's right.
Very well.
Grace, behave yourself.
Well, I shall get that uniform about as pressed as I can get it.